Welcome to the show, everybody. Today we are going to be taking a look at Ethereum whales and Bitcoin whales buying right now at these levels, and what that means for the bull run going forward, if you want to call it a bull run. We're also going to take a look at Trump calling the United States the crypto capital of the world, what that means for us, and a few other stories. So let's go ahead and get started. There we go. Everybody, make sure to smash the like button on your way in. And hello to all my mods. Thank you for being in here and all that you do. All right. Market cap, we're looking at a total of $3.464 trillion. Well below that $4 trillion number we like. 24-hour volume, 163.75 billion. Bitcoin dominance still rising, 58.5%. Ethereum dominance at 11.5%. So it's pretty massive, heading towards 60% for Bitcoin. And what this suggests is, it just really suggests that the altcoins are getting smeared while Bitcoin is taking a hit. Okay. Trending coins here, we have Ergo, Zcash, and ICP. All big movers. ICP smashing it right now, killing the game. And then we got top gainers. We've got Sapien, D-Agent AI, and Pepe Coin. I think that's the original Pepe, actually. But anyways, not what any of those projects do. Okay. Bitcoin coming in at $101,664. Nothing but red. Just nothing but red on the markets today. Stable coin, I think. What is this? White Bitcoin, exchange coin. But almost everything is considerably down, except for Zcash and ICP. ICP is kind of is a blockchain that has basically kind of its own internet, if you can think of it that way. It's like America Online was many, many years ago when it first got started. It's kind of how you could be on AOL forever, but you never touch anywhere else on the internet. And that's how ICP is. Ethereum 3292, down 28.5% this week. XRP down 23% this week. BNB down 28% this week. Solana down 31%. Tron 17.6%. Dogecoin 37.9%. And Cardano at 37.7%, or ADA. White Bitcoin has been moving a little bit. Chainlink down 34% for the week. Zcash up 295% for the month. That was a month. I'm going to say Chainlink is down for the month, 34.3%. And it just gets worse from there. SWI at 44.8% down. I mean, absolutely massive. That's one month. Avalanche down 45. Avalanche taking a big tumble from where it was in the top 20. HBAR, I'm not sure if it's been in the top 20. It's been close, but it's holding serve better than a lot of these altcoins. So let's take a look at the biggest winners of the day and losers. ICP up 31% today, and Zcash up 10%, and the Trump meme coin up 4.7%. Near up 2%. Where's Near at 55? Wow. Just never thought I'd see. I thought Near was going to be a top 20 project for sure. Glad I hitched my wagon on ICP, so I got one of them right. That's a coin that we really like. Okay. Now let's look at losers of the day. Pump.Fun, Hyperliquid, Athena, Pepe, Gatspa. Holding on to that top 100 list. Caspa is. It'll be out soon. So there you go. Let's take a look at the biggest gainers and losers for the week. Biggest gainer is Dash, 156.8%. We're going to take a closer look at Dash and Zcash a little bit later in the show. ICP up 136% this week. Wow. And then the losers for the week, I mean, Athena down 23.6%, but holding at 56 and spot 56. It's pretty good. I don't start getting worried until these coins start getting out about the 80s, and then it seems like they just drop straight to the hundreds. So there's that. Let's take a look at the week, or excuse me, the month. Zcash, Dash, ICP, all doing really well. Meme Core, Whitebit, BitTensor. Then it gets a little bit lower from there. You have Monero, 8.4%. The biggest loser, Astra, lost half of its value this month. That's what happens when you have a project that pops up overnight, nobody knew about. It gets wild price swings, and then it corrects. So Aptos down 48%. I think they have a new logo. Looks slightly different, I think. And their founder stepped down, I believe. Mo Shake. I thought Mo was a lady for a long time. I realized it's a dude with long hair. I just wasn't looking close enough at the pictures. 46.9% down for OKB, 46% Avalanche. So many in this 40s, 30s and 40s especially. And it's over half the top 100 are in 30% corrections or greater in the last month. So we wanted October. We ended up getting what they're now calling Redtober, the hunt for the Red October. Redtober or Rectober. I forgot what they're calling it. Okay. All right. Looking at Bitcoin here, this is on the hourly chart. We got a little bit of a bounce, and we're setting a new low here. So got a high here, but then after that, all downward action. Waiting for Market Cipher to give me a green dot to tell me maybe it's a good time to enter a long trade. I tell you, the stories today got me kind of bullish. Looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum buying by whales, because that stuff matters big time. Zoom out a little bit on this, and you see we're at lows we haven't been at in 6 months. I mean, that's just the one crash right there, but we haven't been at these numbers below 102 or 103, I think since May. So we've got some lines marked out here. We got yesterday's high, the weekly low, and the weekly high down on this chart. These are the most likely levels where it's going to hit resistance and where it's going to bounce. So you can see kind of that bounce there, breakdown there. That would have been a good short. A good short, take it right there at 103.8. ICP finally has its use case. What's up? What's up, Doom? Good to see you. Brian, good to see you. Okay. We'll get to that story in a minute. All right, let's go and get going with our stories here. Crypto whale opens $55 million long position on Bitcoin and Ethereum. The whale has been active in crypto markets for at least 7 years, having purchased $850 million of Bitcoin during the 2018 bear market. A prominent crypto whale known as HyperUnit has opened $55 million in long positions, betting on a rebound in Bitcoin and Ethereum prices. The trader, who gained fame for making $200 million during the U.S.-China tariff-led market crash last month, is now positioning for upward price movement on decentralized derivatives exchange Hyperliquid. Crypto analytics platform Arkham identified the whale's new position in a Monday post on X, revealing a $37 million Bitcoin long and an $18 million Ethereum long. The whale has been active in the crypto markets for at least 7 years, having purchased its Bitcoin. We already talked about that. It purchased $850 million of Bitcoin, and then that reached its value of $10 billion. Sheesh. Hyperunit recently executed 2 additional profitable short positions following the October tariff crash, prompting Arkham to question whether the trader will achieve success for the 4th consecutive time. The track record of successful market predictions has drawn significant attention from the crypto community monitoring large trader movements. BitBoy CEO Hunter Horsley suggested that the original Bitcoin whales have largely contributed to the recent market correction. He explained Saturday it can be emotionally taxing for these investors to stay in the market after making 100x or 1000x returns, knowing they have lives to live beyond holding crypto assets. What is that? Crypto quant data shows that long-term holders offload 405,000 Bitcoin from approximately October 2nd to November 2nd. However, Horsley emphasized that many of the biggest holders aren't planning to sell their complete holdings, suggesting strategic crypto management or portfolio management rather than full exit strategies. So basically, a lot of the sales we're seeing, the selling we're seeing, it's just portfolio management, really. Maybe rearranging some holdings, taking a little bit off the table. They're not mass exodus of removing all their liquidity. Blockchain platform Sentiment noted the most market pain may have already been felt, pointing to 208,980 fewer Bitcoin on crypto exchanges compared to 6 months ago. Despite market value dropping 14% since its all-time high on October 6th, the fact that BTC is generally staying off exchanges presents an encouraging sign. Sadman explained that when a coin supply is not moving to exchanges, the risk of further sell-offs becomes limited. The data suggests that investors are holding positions rather than transferring assets to exchanges for sale, potentially indicating conviction in future price appreciation. Hyperunit whale substantial long positions represent a contrarian bet against current market sentiment, leveraging the trader's successful track record of timing major market movements. So the first 3 times recently that they have this crypto whale moving money, it worked out in his position perfectly. And now this is a 4th time, and will it do the same thing? I tend to think there's a good chance. Bitcoin dropping as we speak, $100,444, getting back near the $100,000 level. So Hyperunit, the whale, isn't the only one who is making big splashes. Ethereum whales snapped nearly 400K in 3 days. Total purchases exceed $1.37 billion. Multiple Ethereum whales have increased their holdings, acquiring almost 400,000 ETH worth $1.37 billion over the past 3 days. And then we have this chart here that shows whales that recently bought at the bottom. They've got Bitmine, 7 siblings, a whale known for swing trading ETH through OTC deals, a whale who borrowed 66,000 ETH just 2 weeks ago from Aave, unknown whale, 2 fresh wallets, and another unknown whale. And they bought 1.366 billion in Bitcoin. Bitcoin whales keep accumulating over the last 3 days. Per the detailed analysis, the largest buyer was an address that had previously borrowed 66,000 ETH from Aave. The whale has now repurchased 257,000 ETH at approximately 34.80 for a total of $896 million. Bitmine, 7 siblings, OTC traders, various new wallets increased their ETH positions recently during the market correction. Analysts are closely watching the recent massive whale accumulation as they often precede significant market shifts. Analysts believe Ethereum could soon prepare for a strong rebound and new all-time highs, targeting up to $10,000 a coin. I don't know if we're going to see that anytime soon, guys. I'd be happy to see 5,000 again. Ethereum is currently trading at 3,421 at press time. It's lower now. Crypto markets are entering what can best be described as a cautious calm. If macro data trends favorably, Ethereum may approach $4,200. Okay. Institutional catalysts have bullish impact on ETH. With the anticipation for December's Fusaka upgrade, ETH has also attracted strong institutional support or interest. BitMine is at 40,719 ETH. So there you go. A few more whales like BitMine, the markets could change tone overnight, for sure. So there you go. President Trump, we're making the U.S. the Bitcoin superpower, the crypto capital of the world. That's what he said. Let's look a little deeper here. Trump praises crypto for easing dollar burden. Ironically, that could hurt Bitcoin. Trump called crypto a relief valve for dollar pressure at Miami's American Business Forum. Market data shows Bitcoin typically falls when the dollar strengthens, creating a policy paradox. President Trump declared crypto takes a lot of pressure off the dollar during a speech in America's Business Forum in Miami on November 5th, positioning the U.S. as the Bitcoin superpower and crypto capital of the world. Speaking to thousands of attendees, Trump credited his executive orders with ending what he called the federal government's war on crypto, contrasting his approach under the Biden administration's enforcement-heavy stance, which he said left industry figures under indictment. Beyond regulatory relief, Trump framed crypto adoption as economically strategic, suggesting digital assets could alleviate strain on the dollar while positioning America as the global leader in both crypto and artificial intelligence, where he claimed the U.S. leads China by a lot. Trump's endorsement reflects growing momentum behind stablecoins and strategic Bitcoin reserves in Washington, yet economic fundamentals suggest an inherent tension. Bitcoin has historically exhibited an inverse correlation of approximately negative 0.7% with the U.S. dollar, meaning a strengthened dollar typically suppresses Bitcoin prices, while dollar weakness tends to boost them. During the Fed's 2022 tightening cycle, DXY surged to 114, while Bitcoin crashed from 47 to below 17,000. Textbook demonstration of the inverse relationship. Conversely, the 2020-2021 easing period saw dollar weakness coincide with Bitcoin's rally to then record highs of 64,000. Market observers note Bitcoin behaves more like a high beta risk asset than a safe haven, rising with loose financial conditions and falling during liquidity withdrawals. If crypto genuinely reduces pressure on the dollar by offering alternative transaction store value mechanisms, a stronger dollar could paradoxically undermine Bitcoin's appeal. Crypto typically attracts capital when investors seek alternatives to weak fiat currencies, not when money strengthens. Academic research using wavelet analysis confirms Bitcoin's out-of-phase dynamics with the dollar, though the relationship remains more sporadic than with other conventional assets. Senator Cynthia Lummis recently called a strategic Bitcoin reserve the only path to meaningfully offset America's $35 trillion debt burden, praising the Trump administration for embracing the concept. She revealed Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and the White House staff are exploring structures beyond simply revaluing gold certificates through financing, though financing details remained unclear. But here we go. I think this could be the way to do it. The administration's March fact sheet indicated the reserve would start with over 130,000 Bitcoin already held through criminal forfeitures, worth approximately $34 billion, without requiring new taxpayer spending. Similarly, Eric Trump told the New York Post that stablecoins could save the U.S. dollar by channeling trillions from around the world into U.S. markets through World Liberty Financial's USD1 token. However, critics, including Representative Maxine Waters and Senator Elizabeth Warren, have warned of what they see as conflicts of interest, noting that the Genius Act stablecoin framework signed in July contains no provisions preventing the president or family members from profiting. Market dynamics reveal dollar Bitcoin tension in real time. Recent market action demonstrates paradox between dollar and Bitcoin. When surprisingly strong U.S. jobs data emerged late September Initial claims dropped to 218,000, and Q2 GDP was revised upward to 3.8%. The US dollar index surged to a 3-week high while Bitcoin tumbled below $111,000. Pattern repeated on Thursday when better than expected service activity and payroll figures lifted the dollar to a 5-month peak, capping Bitcoin's recovery even as it climbed back above 103,000. Where's that right now? $100,318. Current trading reflects this dollar dominance. Despite Bitcoin's Thursday bounce, traders described a buy the dip, sell the rip bias, with rapid profit taking as the higher for longer rate narrative and firm dollar limit follow through persisted. It will keep adding paper until people consider it a value. Talking about in Turkey. Turkey's lira plunged to a record 42.1 per dollar on December 6th, a 97% depreciation since 2010. Its persistent inflation drives capital towards the US dollar. As long as people keep buying it, they'll keep selling it to you. So there you go. All right, Tom Lee suggests challenges could become catalysts, but become catalysts. I think that's a misspelling there. You think they did this in ChatGPT and they're just like, who cares about the typo? It just looks too good. If that's supposed to be Tom Lee, that's a terrible job. His hair looks crazy now. I remember when his hair did look like that. He's also Asian, so I don't think this guy is Asian, but he could be, I guess. Bitcoin investors are facing a mix of uncertainty and opportunity as market conditions continue to fluctuate. Tom Lee, a prominent crypto analyst, believes current headwinds may become tailwinds, creating a potential bounce for Bitcoin. Despite recent volatility, Lee argues that factors such as regulatory clarity and institutional interest could act as catalysts for a positive shift. Bitcoin faces near-term volatility, but long-term potential remains intact. Lee notes that the cryptocurrency market has experienced turbulence due to macroeconomic pressures, including rising interest rates and geopolitical concerns. However, he emphasizes these challenges could set the stage for renewed investor confidence and capital inflows. Institutional adoption may accelerate Bitcoin's recovery. Large-scale investors, including hedge funds and asset managers, are increasingly viewing Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and a store of value. Lee suggests that growing institutional participation could stabilize the market, reduce volatility, and support price over time. I've seen nothing but volatility since I came in the market. Regulatory developments could act as a turning point. Recent discussions in the U.S. regarding clear rules for crypto assets may reduce uncertainty, encouraging more mainstream adoption. Lee highlights that progress in compliance and legal frameworks can transform perceived risks into opportunities for market expansion. Technical indicators hint at a possible rebound. Lee points to Bitcoin price levels, trading volumes, and historical trends as potential signals for bullish reversal. While short-term fluctuations are expected, he believes that these technical metrics, combined with some supportive fundamentals, suggest that Bitcoin could regain momentum. Investor sentiment may pivot as markets stabilize. Despite fear and skepticism in the current cycle, Lee predicts that sentiment could shift positively if key indicators align. This shift could attract retail and institutional buyers, potentially triggering a broader market rally and renewed confidence in digital assets. Overall, Tom Lee remains cautiously optimistic. While Bitcoin challenges persist, he argues that these same factors could catalyze a stronger, more resilient market for Bitcoin, highlighting both the risk and opportunities that lie ahead. Remember, this guy is in charge of BitMine immersion. It's basically, he's the Michael Saylor of Ethereum is who we're talking about here. He has the biggest Ethereum fund, the biggest digital asset treasury featuring Ethereum. Where has all the liquidity gone? You see there's liquid dropping from a faucet. How creative. Bitcoin continues to chop around 103,000. That's old news. We did just go all the way down to $100,000 and $242. We did get a bounce. A nice little bounce there. The CoinDesk 20 index is up 2% in 24 hours. 24 hours alongside 18% gains in Zcash. Zcash, ICP, and Quant. Quant isn't even in the top 100 anymore. Pretty sure. Getting pinwheeling deaths here.